Shalom everyone, shalom people of God. I go by the name Ruben Mike, I'm also known as Ruby MC. Well, if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please go below this video and click on the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. On this channel, we educate you on deep biblical and hidden mysteries. I expose false teachers and false doctrines. I do movies and powerful sermons, and on today's episode, we are going to be looking at something special, something shocking, informative, entertaining, and totally worth your time. We are talking about Christmas and Santa Claus found in the Bible. You can't afford to miss 1 second of this video, so avoid any form of distraction. Get yourself a glass of your favorite drink, buckle your seatbelt as you're about to reach high altitude right now. Let's go! Alright, in this video, we'll be looking at the pagan history of Christmas, the pagan history of Santa Claus, hidden facts about Santa Claus. Was Jesus born December 25th? When Jesus was actually born? What the Bible said about Christmas? What the Bible said about Santa Claus? Why some Christians do not celebrate Christmas? Now, before we continue, please note that this video is not done to misinform or discourage anyone from celebrating Christmas, but it's rather done to enlighten and educate the viewers with facts about Christmas. So viewers are solely responsible for whatever actions they take after watching this video. What we know today as Christmas is related to old and Roman cultures. It may surprise you to note that what we know today as Christmas can be traced back to as far as few years after the flood of Noah. That's over 3,000 years before the birth of Christ, long before the first Egyptian empire. Most historians believe that Christmas can be traced back to as far as the 4th century. It can be traced to many cultures. It is important to point out that Christmas trees originated from pagan traditions. Many of today's popular Christmas traditions can be traced back to ancient festivals like Yule and Saturnalia. Yule is a Germanic 12 days pagan festival beginning from December 21st to January 1st, while Saturnalia is a Roman pagan festival marked from December 17th to December 25th. The first recorded Christmas celebration happened in Rome on December 25th AD 336. That was 303 years after Jesus died. Now, the Roman Saturnalia belonged to a cult known as the Saturnals, and it was a festival dedicated to a war god or god of soldiers called Mithra or Saturn, born of a virgin and celebrated on the last day of Saturnalia, which is the 25th of December. The Yule festival is a 12-day festival of the Norsemen, the Vikings. They dedicated it to celebrate Odin, the war god and mighty hunter, the king of the Norse gods. It is said that on the eve of winter solstice, Odin takes to the sky on a wild hunt, riding on an 8-legged horse known as Sleipnir, disguised as an old man with long white beard and one eye, punishing the disobedient and giving gifts to the good. During the first ever man-made civilization on earth, there was a man named Nimrod, who was greatly loved and feared by men. Born on the 25th of December, he was called a mighty hunter before the Lord, in Genesis 10, verse 8 and 9. The Hebrew word for before in that verse 9 is paunim, which means against or instead of. Nimrod made the people worship and obey him instead of God. In doing so, Nimrod conquered the people, and when Nimrod died, his wife Semiramis, who claimed to be a virgin after having a son named Tammuz. Tammuz was worshipped as the reincarnation of Nimrod. Until today, these three are still worshipped as the triune gods all over the world. Over the years, Nimrod became known as Baal, to Rome as Saturn or Mithra. In Asian Minor, he was known as Santa. In ancient Greek as Nikolaos, which is the Greek interpretation of Nimrod. Nikolaos, known as Nicholas in English, means victor of the people or conqueror of the people. You know, like a superhero or messiah. There are also news of a monk and bishop named Saint Nicholas or Santa Claus, his Dutch nickname, born in Turkey around 280 AD. It is rumored that he gave away his inherited fortune to children. But when you look at the lyrics of the popular Santa Claus song by Michael Bublé, amongst other factors, you will know that Santa Claus is more than a man. The lyric says, he sees you when you are sleeping, he knows when you are awake, he knows if you have been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. This lyrics implies that Santa Claus has omnipresence and foreknowledge, which shows that Santa Claus is believed to be more than a man. Now, there is no way that the Christian Jesus could have been born December 25th, and the best way to prove that to you is to visit the Bible. In Israel generally, December is a serious winter time where almost everyone is indoor because the whole place is iced up. Plants and trees are covered in ice. Farmers and cattle herders can't go out to do their thing. The Bible says in Luke chapter 2 verse 8 to 18 that the day Jesus was born, shepherds were out in the field keeping their flocks by night. And the night is the coldest time of the day, which is a proof that Jesus was not born in winter season. Also in Luke chapter 2 verse 1 to 3, there was a decree from Augustus Caesar, who was the emperor of the world back then in the time of Jesus. Emperor Augustus Caesar gave a decree that the whole world back then should be taxed. So everyone went out to be taxed, and this could not have happened during winter because the whole world could not come out and be taxed during winter. Now history has it that it was the Roman Emperor Constantine, the first Christian emperor, who chose December 25th as Christmas Day, possibly to weaken pagan traditions. Now, before I go into the exact time when Jesus was born, I would love to prove by revelation the authenticity of this date. There are 4 seasons on the earth, as you all know: summer, winter, autumn, and spring. Spring comes before summer and autumn comes before winter. Spring denotes resurrection and rapture. Summer denotes millennial reign. Autumn denotes the fall of man and creation rebellion, while winter denotes death and earth judgment. Remember what the Bible says, day to day uttered speech. God is present in all seasons, we all know that. But when it comes to salvation, God steps in to save man in the fall. So Jesus of necessity had to step in the autumn season of Israel. The autumn season of Israel is around October, November, and Jesus is not known to be a latecomer. So according to the revelation of Jesus himself to the prophet Neil Frisbee and other historical records, Jesus was born in the month of October 3 BC. Now, it is crystal clear that Santa Claus has absolutely nothing to do with the Bible or Jesus. And many Christians who forbid Christmas refer to Santa as a foreign masquerade. This, amongst many other reasons, is due to Santa's close connection and similarities with the Viking god Odin. You must have heard the word Yule or Yuletide in Christmas songs and Christmas carol. It's because Yule, being an old pagan feast, was Christianized to become Christmas. And another name for Odin is Yule Father, as Santa is called Father Christmas. Odin is also called Oski, which means the wish granter or gift giver. The only difference between Santa and Odin is one eye. Otherwise, they were both tall and fat elderly men with long white beards in furry winter cloaks and hooded hats. Odin is known to fly across the night sky on his 8-legged horse called Sleipnir, which was substituted for deers with Santa Claus and called Sleigh in 1823. When Odin flew around the world that night, those who provoked him received bad luck and wrath, while those he favored received good fortune and gifts. The original Santa wore a blue cloak until Coca-Cola changed it to red in their advert in the 1920s and 30s. Also, Norse children loaded gifts of straw and carrots in their boots or socks for Odin's horse to eat when he comes to their home. An ancient practice of what is now known as Christmas was revealed in the Bible in Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 1 to 5. God spoke through Jeremiah to warn Israel not to do what the pagans do, talking about not being carried away with the signs of the heavens like a sun god or moon god, warning against the custom and traditions of pagans, how they decorate and shape trees with hammer, chisel, and nails. And from the mockery and warning that God gave in that verse 5, you see that God was telling Israel that their gods, as the pagan gods, cannot punish anyone or hurt anyone, neither do they have the mind of doing good to anyone. When you meditate deeply on that and do your research regarding Yule, you will be shocked. Now when you read Acts chapter 6 verse 5, there was an Antioch man named Nicholas. This was way before the story of St. Nicholas. This proves that the name Nicholas has been in existence long before the story of St. Nicholas. Also, in Revelation chapter 2 verse 6 and 15, Jesus was speaking about the deeds and doctrine of Nicolaitans. Nicolaitans means followers or worshippers of Nicholas. And as I said earlier, Nicholas is English for the Greek word Nikolaos. And Nikolaos is Greek for Nimrod. And what entered Nimrod to conquer the world was the Antichrist spirit, the spirit of Satan. So Satan is the true Nicholas who conquered the world in the past and is coming to do so in the future through the Antichrist. Now look at the ties between Nimrod, Mithra, Tammuz, Baal, Odin going for hunting. Nimrod is a hunter. So the true Nicholas is Satan and his followers are Nicolaitans. So you begin to wonder what the world is celebrating during their so-called Christmas. Or should I remove Christ after knowing what it really is and call it Xmas? With all that has been said so far, many Christians know what it means to celebrate a pagan feast or to replace pagan gods with their God and celebrate him the pagan way after reading what God said in Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 9 to 14. Many have concluded that Christmas is not connected to Christ in any way, and some have said that Christ was not born in winter, so celebrating his birth on December 25th is wrong. Some others said Jesus never instructed anyone to celebrate his birth, but rather Solomon, who is a type of Christ, said better is the day of death than the day of birth. So generally, in conclusion, what do you think about all that has been said so far in this video? For those who celebrate Christmas, why do you celebrate it? And those who do not celebrate Christmas, do you have any other reason apart from what has been said in this video as to why you forbid Christmas? Please, I would love to know the answers to all these questions in the comment section. I can assure you that I reply comments. So till we see another time, I remain Ruben Micah, also known as OVMC. Don't forget that I love you and God bless you.
Save us, get back to God once again.